Yes, Yakuza 0. Some people's favorite Yakuza game, some people's first. It's a very good game, I would say so. Some people consider it one of the best in the series, and I can definitely see why. It's a very good game. But what am I making a video on it for? I've already no damaged the story. I've already 100% of the game, off camera. So what exactly could I be making a video on? Well, my dear viewer, if you watched, or if you read the title, or looked at the thumbnail, it's very clear. I want to talk about the gear system. More specifically, why I don't think the gear system is as bad as people say. Now, in the background, you're going to be watching some shakedown no damages. Mostly because that's kind of what I just decided to do for the gameplay. We're watching the Slayer one first with Majima. It's not the greatest no damage in the world, but it took me like an hour to get this, so I'm pretty proud of it. Especially because I really do like Slugger, and I'm kind of happy with my overall performance in this one. But that's a bit of a sidetracking out of the way. But yeah, today I want to talk about the gear system, especially because a lot of people, consider the gear system bad. And I don't actually consider it bad. I should preface this by saying I also don't think it is the best in the game. My personal favorite is Yakuza Kiwami. That's not me saying I think Kiwami's is the best in the series. I feel like I don't have the right to say which is the best in the series, just because, I don't play the game as much as others, like, no damage players, or play people like that, people that genuinely put in the time to understand the combat in this game. There's minigame, story, there's all of that I also do. But my inspiration for this video, getting more on topic, my inspiration for this video was another video made by another content creator called AM. In his video, he talked about the kind of evolution of Heat throughout the Yakuza games, going from Yakuza 3 all the way to Pirate Yakuza. And it's a really good video. It's a very informative video. It's a video that is very cool if you just want to see the history of Heat. But in his video, he had a grading criteria. He graded each of the Yakuza's, heat systems. Because, surprise, surprise, the video's about Heat, right? So yeah, he talks about the heat systems within each of these videos. And he graded Yakuza 0 as the best. Now, do I personally agree with this take? Not necessarily. But, given his grading criteria, I can definitely see where he's coming from. But there's something I noticed, and it's a very kind of depressing thing I noticed with the video, is some people didn't even watch the video. They saw the thumbnail and saw that he considered Yakuza 0's gear system the best, and immediately shut down his video. And this is one of those videos from the Yakuza community where someone really put in the time and efforts to do the research, do the research, the commentary and things like that. And to get it shut down just because you have an unpopular opinion was kind of depressing to see. And as a result, I don't think it just kind of sucks to see that, right? Especially because a lot of people, their complaints with the gear system within the video that you will see is, but my attack speed. A lot of people really just complained that the attack speed ruined the gear system in Yakuza 0. So in this video, I kind of want to show that the Yakuza 0 gear system is really not that bad. And the only thing people really dislike is the speed, the attack speed specifically, which also isn't that big of a problem, I'm just going to be honest. And that's what I kind of hope to prove in this video, just, that people overreact about the gear system and it being bad. Because, let me just say this, I'm not going to say that the gear system is, once again, the greatest gear system, but I also think it's unfair to say that it's not well designed. But to do so, I think we have to talk about first, what exactly makes people dislike the gear system? And it's a very select few things, not too many, if I had to really be honest. It really boils down to three things. One, you get low attack speed, like I mentioned before, your attack speed's low. Two, there's a restriction against certain moves. And three, heat drain is too quick. Now, let's go ahead and get into more detail. So number one being attack speed. And this is very simple. In Yakuza 0, there's 1, 2, 3 in terms of gears, right? So gear 1, you have really slow attack speed. Whereas in gear 3, you have amazing attack speed, the fastest attack speed you can have. And here's a video kind of showing that. The second complaint a lot of people have with the gear system is that there's a restriction of moveset, kind of. So for example, some move you can do in third gear you can't do in second gear or first gear. Here's a video showing some. This thug counter requires third gear. This breaker grab requires second gear. Note, it can only be done in second gear, so even if you're in third gear, you can't do it, only second. This slugger counterattack requires third gear. This rush heat action requires third gear. Note, the enemy must also be frightened, but in terms of gear, it has to be third. This beast throw requires second gear. You have to be in second gear, you can't do this in third gear, only second. This brawler grab finisher requires third gear. This dragon counter requires third gear. It was a little faster, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. We're going to go ahead and taunt. And we're going to get hit, but it's okay. We're going to do it right now, so pay attention. Yeah, that requires third gear. Now, the last argument that people like to make against the gear system is that heat drain is simply too quick. It's too potent, and it's too strong, and it happens way too much. Another argument people like to make is that heat actions don't do enough damage. Which, if you can look at the gameplay, how I just flatten Shakedown there, I would say about a bar of damage is pretty good, but to be fair, I do have this Kiryu leveled up a little bit, in terms of like the Dragon Tree and whatever, but still you do pretty good damage with heat actions regardless. Now, let's just say hypothetically that wasn't the case. You still do a lot of damage in general in the Yakuza games. Like in this clip. One rush combo into a bounding throw did that much damage. Once again, yes, I did upgrade this Kiryu a little bit, but it's not like I upgraded him a lot, just a little bit. And I'm still doing this much damage. So yeah, you can do a heat action, or you can do a rush combo, and do this even more damage in some cases, and in some cases it's actually more beneficial, specifically in Dragon, to have this much heat so you can keep that attack speed up. Now, something I do want to mention is that some people might say that early game damage is really low for heat actions, but of course it is. It's the early game for a reason. You don't do that much damage in the early game regardless. So to say that early game damage is bad, well, of course it is. That's how it is in every Yakuza game. The early game damage is bad. And as a result, I don't really see that as a good argument. Now, a little sidetrack out of the way. Let's go ahead and talk about heat drain and attack speed. I'm going to do both at the same time because they kind of go hand in hand. So first of all, like I said, heat drain sucks apparently. People hate it. And then second, because the heat drain is quote-unquote really bad, this means the problem of attack damage becomes more apparent because you lose your heat, slower attack speed, and this cycle continues. However, I disagree. I think people that say this, it's a little dramatic to say the least. And I will show that by the following videos, so just watch those and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so I'm live comming this, and if you're curious why I sound so dead, it is because I did a completely new playthrough of Yakuza 0 to get to this point, to get Beast, and my brother tells me I could have just done a premium adventure. So, as you can imagine, I wasted 2 hours of my life doing that, so yeah. Now, what we're gonna do is very simple. I'm gonna try and show you just, heat drain as in its most simple, in its worst form. In my abilities, nothing. I have some to increase my health. That's it. That's literally it. We're playing on Legend difficulty, as it says right here, Legend difficulty. No upgrades for heat drain or anything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and switch to Brawler. Oh, good lord. And we're gonna wait to drain just a little bit. So I'm gonna do a stamina. I'm gonna use a stamina. So when I press the unpause button, when I get back into gameplay, it should take however much time. We're gonna go ahead and actually time it. I have my stopwatch out, and I'm gonna press the start button, praying to God I don't get hit by an enemy. Okay, that's on me. Alright, here we go. Okay, it takes, we'll say about 6 seconds. 6 seconds to drain your heat, or to start draining. So this means you can't be hitting something or gaining heat in any sort of way in about 6 seconds. If you want to retime it for yourself, maybe it's 5 seconds. Let's just say it's 5 seconds. Let's be generous and say it's 5 seconds. If you're not doing anything for 5 seconds, at essentially base stats, other than a little bit of health, by the way, what the hell are you doing? You're telling me you're doing nothing for 5 to 6 seconds at all. At all. And this doesn't account for the fact that you have, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. You have like rush dodging to give you heat, brawler blocking to give you heat. I'm sure Beast has something to give you. No, I know for a fact it does. I'm almost certain it does. You're telling me you're not doing any of that for 5 seconds. For 5 seconds. Yeah, no, that's cap, my boy. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's about 5, 6 seconds of heat drain. That's really all I wanted to show here, yeah. Alright, once again, we're live comming. And this time, it's about heat gain. Specifically, I'm at first gear. I have no heat at all. And I want to see how easy it is to go ahead and get to first, second, third gear. Third gear. I want to see how easy it is to get to third gear. Once again, I'm going to mention no upgrades. Just some health upgrades, and that's about it. And we're doing this on Legend difficulty. So we're going to go ahead and start with Brawler, because that's what we're on. So here we go. Kind of annoying I missed that one attack in the rush combo, but it's fine. Okay, so 2 rush combos it takes to get to third gear. Pull, it'll take essentially 3.5 combos. You have to remember I missed quite a few attacks, which is a little unfortunate. But about 3.5 rush combos. If you can't do 3.5 rush combos on a group of enemies, what the hell are you doing? And now we're doing rush. So once again, same thing, no abilities, no other than some health. That's literally it. We're going to see how long it takes for me to get to third gear in rush. Now, the one thing about rush is I don't have the ability, my upgrades, though, like I said, no upgrades. I have no upgrades at all. So this means that some things might be a little scuffed. For example, dodging can give you heat in rush. It's a very early upgrade you can get. But some people consider it a quintessential part of rush. But I don't have that luxury, because I really do think it is very easy to get third gear in this game. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do rush right now. Remember, no upgrades, no abilities, no nothing except a little bit of health. That's it. Alright, here we go. Okay. Okay, that's 1 rush combo. That's 2 rush combos. 3 rush combos. It takes 3 rush combos. It's that simple. And I mean, once again, if you can't do 3 rush combos on normal thugs like this, and it doesn't even have to be perfect. Like, you don't have to be perfect, obviously. Like, but like, if you seriously can't do, the amount that 3 rush combos can do, like, what the hell are you doing, man? So once again, it's very easy to get heat in rush. Yeah. Alright, so now we're doing Beast. Once again, we're going to see how easy it is to get third gear in Beast. No abilities, only a little bit of health. You know the rules by now. I don't need to say them. Let's go ahead and do it. Missed a few attacks, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's fine. Second gear. In 3. And so in about 4-ish, you'll get third gear. So once again, you're in a situation where it really doesn't take that long to get into... Can I grab... No, wait, I just can't grab you? Alright, bro. That was very obnoxious, actually, I can't lie. But yeah, 3 rush combos. Just 3. Just 3. This is no abilities, no upgrades whatsoever. So, at this point in the game, you have he's not here on the map, but you have Shakedown at this point in the game. You can get money in different ways. You can upgrade. You can definitely upgrade. So the idea that Heat Drain takes so little time and is very strong, and that for some reason Heat Gain is bad, is just asinine. I'm sorry. Because it's literally, at the worst, 3 rush combos. In fact, hold on. I believe you can actually make Beast better when it comes to getting... Give me a second, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, so now we're back. Once again, Beast. Beast is honestly very easy to get heat with if you know what you're doing. So this time, I'm not going to use my bare hands. I'm going to use a bicycle. I'm going to use just an item, right? One item I'm going to use. I'm going to use a bicycle. And it's just... It's so easy. So we're going to go ahead, get to this bicycle. Oh, we already have second gear. Awesome. Oh, third gear. And you could make the argument you're not going to have a bicycle every time, which, fair enough. But if you play smart, you know what you're doing, you could definitely use other items. And that is arguably the easiest way to get heats. You just use beast items. Once again, I mean, like, what do you want me to say? It's hard to get heat in this game? It's difficult? It's impossible? No, it's not. Now, you could make the argument for bosses. Oh, but bosses. Bosses are difficult. Let me do a shakedown really quick. Alright, so I finally found Mr. Shakedown. We're gonna do this really simply. I'm gonna get my heat to drain. We're gonna go first gear, and I'm not gonna do this by each style because that's stupid. You don't do that with bosses. So we're just gonna fight him normally, and by normally I mean I'm just gonna use Brawler because it's the most efficient way to deal with him. But we gotta let our heat drain first, which very easy way is just to spam your rush dodges for some reason if you don't want heats. Or yeah, whatever reason. And we're empty, cool. So now we're gonna go into Beast, or Brawler, excuse me, and we're just gonna go ahead and just do what we gotta do. Now obviously with, you know, bosses, it's a little more annoying, to say the least. But it's not impossible. We're already at second gear. And we're really close to it. And there's third gear. Almost at full. And oh my gosh, bro, it's edging me. Okay. And we're at full. There it is, man. As you can see, really not that bad. Especially with bosses. Yes, it takes a little longer than with a normal street fight, but if you know a boss's, you know, moveset, you understand what they're gonna do. It's pretty... It's just a method. It's just really a formula. So it's not that bad. And he's almost dead, so we might as well just go ahead and finish him off. It's really not that bad, though. So really, you know, as much as I hate to use this word, it's just a skill issue. You gotta get better. And, I mean, you will very consistently keep your heat at third gear, or whatever gear you need it at, really. Just, you know, learn movesets, dodge, just play efficiently, I suppose. And all of a sudden, wow, heat drain is not that big of a deal. Heat gain, not that big of a deal. So, yeah. That's, oh, come on, man. Alright, you get what I'm trying to say. Now we have Dragon Style, once again, same thing as Majima. He spent up to level 2 on Dragon. If, once again, you feel like that invalidates this, sorry, I guess, I don't know. So, once again, third gear in Dragon, let's go. Oh gosh, I alt-tapped, sorry about that. So yeah, here we go. See, this one kind of sucks because this is one of the styles where it's like not having any speed is very annoying, as you can see. What was that, 2 rush combos? So it takes about 3 rush combos to get the third gear. Oh god, please. And 4 to get to full. Very simple. But the thing about Dragon, Dragon has a very funny skill. I'm sure I'm gonna let my heat drain. Dragon has a very funny skill, if you can imagine what it is. But there's a funny thing you can do with Dragon. You can twist counter. And twist counter, oh gosh, oh god, please, is very easy. And doesn't require you to do a rush combo. And gives you 1 bar of heat every single time you do it. Okay, maybe not if the guy's hitting you, but... yeah, 3 twist counters. And you are in... you are in 3rd gear. So yeah, with Dragon, you definitely don't want to, you know, go from 1st gear to 3rd gear by doing only rush combos. It's better just to do twist counter, or, alternatively, style switch. But you can still, it's still possible to do this stuff in Dragon if you really wanted to. But there's more efficient ways to do it. Once again, we are going ahead to end the live comming. This time we're doing Majima, because I forgot Majima existed in this game. Okay! And this time I am using Premium Adventure. Yes, that's what we're doing now. So yeah, what we're going to do. So once again, we're doing Thug. No abilities, no money spent, so you don't gotta even worry about it. Here we go. I'm gonna do Thug first. Ah, crap. So, okay, 2 rush combos to get to 3rd gear, and by 3 you're gonna be just chilling. And this is supposed to be hard, right? Yeah, I mean, like, what do you want me to say? No abilities, no upgrades. Two rush combos to get to 3rd gear. You're at max attack speed and everything. So yeah. Now we're gonna do rush. Now, I'm gonna be honest with the rush. This is gonna be really easy. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Even before you doing it, I can almost guarantee it's easy, and I will show you why. So, when I say rush, I meant breaker. I'm sorry. So, let's go ahead and break the combo. So what? It 1 breaker combo, and we're at 3rd gear. And then you just do another one, and oh my gosh, you're already full. I mean, like, what do you want me to say? It's so easy, and we're gonna do Slugger right now. Alright, so now we're in Slugger. We're gonna do Slugger now. My heat's at 0 once again, so let's just go ahead and do it. Now, I imagine Slugger might be a little oh my god. Never mind. Slugger's really easy, bro. If you don't whiff. Alright, so 2. It took 2 to get the 3rd, and then after that, it's just really easy, man. I mean, not even 2 rush combos to get into 3rd gear with Slugger. And that's with missing a fair amount of attacks, too. So, once again, it's really easy to get into 3rd gear with no upgrades. So, the fact you also can get upgrades, you know, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Alright, so now we're doing Shakedown. I don't know if I'm gonna kill him as Majima, but just because Majima is definitely a little weaker than Kiryu, especially right now. But we'll see. I also like going Thug with Majima, especially against Shakedown. It's just consistent. So we're gonna go ahead and let our heat drain. Alright, cool. Yeah, it's definitely gonna take a little longer with Majima here. That's 2nd gear, let's go. Nice. Oh goodness. Sorry I'm not like commentating or anything, I'm really trying to focus. So I have to do, oh jeez, I apologize about that. Shakedown, please. Oh god, Shakedown, please do something, I'm begging you. I don't know why Shakedown had such stubborn AI there, but it is what it is. Back to 2nd gear, nice. Almost to 3rd gear now. There we go, 3rd gear. Now let's get to 4th. Oh, good lord, please. Do something. Shake. Oh. Nice. That's a good dodge. I'm saying the AI has good dodging, man. Give us a new Yakuza game, man, please. Alright. And there it is. Third gear in, let's see. That took, okay, about a minute. About less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. So about 1:40, we'll say. I'll say about 1:40, yeah. Once again, not horrible. Especially considering no upgrades, no nothing. So you could definitely get this time down a lot. Just a lot. And let's just try and kill him, I guess. Once again, I mean, like I said, it's just a matter of skill. Are you, taking taking advantage of when you should hit the guy or not? Are you dodging at the right time? It's just that type of stuff, once again. So why exactly did I show those clips off, you might be wondering? It's very simple. I wanted to show that at a base level Kiryu and a base level Majima, this being no upgrades whatsoever, other than of course a little bit of health on Kiryu, that heat drain really isn't that bad. And me personally, I'm just gonna say it, I think 6 seconds of not having your heat drain is pretty fair. That's just me. I think it's pretty fair that, 6 seconds. You get 6 seconds of, before your heat starts draining. Now, if you're not doing anything for 6 seconds, so dodging, attacking, blocking, if you're not doing that type of stuff in 6 seconds, then there isn't a problem with the gear system. There's a problem with how you play the game. And I suppose you could make the argument that some cases enemies are too passive for one thing or another, which I guess that's fair. But that doesn't happen too much. It happens sometimes, but not enough to ruin the gear system. It is not a constant problem. So, as much as I hate to do it, I'm just gonna say it straight up. You're playing the game incorrectly if 6 seconds is not enough time for heat drain. And second, now I want to talk about attack speed. In every single clip that I showed, I made it my goal to make sure I was in first gear. I started in first gear and made my way to the fully maxed third gear. Now, the reason I did it that way was to show that even with this slower attack speed, you can still definitely get heat, and you can do it very efficiently. And in every case, it took about 3 rush combos to get that heat. There are some special exceptions, but most of the time, it was in 3 rush combos. And I think it's really important to address that. Oh, by the way, I should mention this, but you see how I'm just dodging Mr. Shakedown? And I'm getting heat? My lower attack speed surely did a lot for me there. It really hurt me. But seriously, I think it's time to address it as it is. Attack speed is just a placebo, and that's not to say I don't like attack speed being reduced. That's one of my biggest complaints with the early Dragon Engine games. But it's also not a bad thing. Especially in Yakuza 0. Like, yeah, it's a little annoying, but people blow it out of proportion and make it seem like it completely ruined the gear system and makes it unplayable, which is simply not true. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and also the last thing I want to talk about in terms of arguments, is the limitation of certain moves in Heat. Specifically, a lot of people dislike the fact that, there are certain moves in Heat that you can only do in certain gears. For example, Majima's Thug Counter. You're going to see it quite a few times in this fight because it is the Thug no damage for Majima. But anyway, I digress. A lot of people hate that you are kind of limited to third gear with this counter specifically. But I would make the argument that that's fine. Imagine being able to do it over and over and over again. That seems very obnoxious. Just, spam the counter. That's literally the big thing with Tiger Drop, just spam Tiger Drop. There's no limitation to it. It just makes the game way too easy. And the same thing applies with a lot of these moves that people are annoyed are locked to certain gears. And it's kind of the reason I'm okay with it, because it keeps the game balanced in a way that is okay. It would be a problem if it like limited your rush combo, but it doesn't do that. It just limits, you know, your ability to do a certain move that is very strong. And that's a good thing. Because if there was no balance in this regard, you'd get something like the Beast Infinite. Wait a minute, why is this clip ending? Why is it ending? Why? Alright, so I'm going to show you just how strong no limits can be. And we're going to do that by using Beast. How are we going to do that? Very simple. We do the Beast Infinite. What is the Beast Infinite? You're watching it, baby. Okay, to be fair. I messed it up there, but it's very simple. You just keep doing this. Awano just doesn't stand a chance, man. It's not even funny. He just can't do anything, man. I'll go ahead and do Sarah, and I feel like my point has been made. Cause I mean, we have so much heat, we could just do the bear hug again. Oh, we don't have enough heat yet? Just grab him. And wonderful, we're back at heats. Oh, now, you're probably wondering, what was the point of showing off the Beast Infinite? And it's honestly very simple. It kind of shows what happens when that limitation barrier that you have with most of the other skills in this game is kind of broken. You get the Beast Infinite, you get an unlimited chain of throwing and hugging. And it is very strong, as you can see. Not really, I don't think any boss can really counter it. That's how strong it is. And now imagine Yakuza 0 being played like that just normally. Imagine a Majima that can just thug counter whenever he wants. Or Breaker grabs whenever he wants. Or a Kiryu that can do, I don't know, something whenever he wants. The Kiryu's, like, other than Beast Infinite, his isn't really that bad. I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but... Seriously, though, imagine not being limited by gear. All of a sudden, you're spamming the same moves over and over again. There's no variety in your combat. You're just going to do the same thing, and you're going to be wondering, why is the game so boring? It's because you're spamming the same stuff over and over again. And they learned this in Kiwami. Kiwami, you literally can't do the Beast Infinite. They realized, oh, this is strong. We can't allow this. And they fixed it in Kiwami, making Kiwami just in general a more balanced game. So the fact that people get mad that they want that there's more variety in the combat because you can't just spam certain moves over and over again is kind of interesting to me. Because that is definitely the reason they did it. That's why they limited what you can do in what gears. To make the game more varied, more interesting to play than just spamming the same move over and over again, like Tiger Drop. Now, I kind of want to go up to another thing. Some counter-arguments some people might have. So let's go ahead and get into those. Number one, you made arguments that only apply to you. Now you might say that every argument I made applies to me specifically. More so that every argument that I applied or said fits my playstyle, fits me as a player, fits only what I do. And to that I disagree. Because yes, it's stuff that I do, they're my mannerisms for example, but this doesn't mean this only works for me. If that was the case, I wouldn't be making this video. You can do things in this video that I do that you might not. You might just sigh and grunt about attack speed instead of, you know, actually playing the game. Doing rush combos. Dodging. Blocking. Doing things for heat. So no, none of these arguments only apply to me specifically. You can look at what I do and replicate it pretty simply. I'm not doing anything that is super crazy or complicated. Everything I do is fairly simple. Not even fairly, it's simple. It's simple stuff. It's literally just square, 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 triangle. You can't do that? I mean, some people can't, and to those people, you know, fair enough, I'm sorry. But most people that play these games can replicate that. Not to mention, I'm playing on Legend in every single clip here. Okay, not the shakedown, no damages, those are on hard. But everything else is in Legend. That is the hardest the game can get. Not everyone plays Legend. People play normal, easy, hard. Not everyone plays Legend. So no, these arguments don't just apply to me. Number two, what about cases where attack speed genuinely does matter? Now this is actually fair, because when I was doing my Yakuza 0 no damage, there was one point in the game, one point, where attack speed actually mattered. And that was during my Awano fight. Now, what specifically about my Awano fight made it matter? At the beginning of my Awano fight, I was doing Thug Rush combos. That being said, because I was so slow in doing my Thug Rush combos, at some points Awano just super armored and hit me. So you could make the argument, because I had lower attack speed, I got screwed over. That being said, did I mention it was a no damage? A challenge video in which I didn't use items? So what is stopping you from using a Stamina, a Torrenter, something to give you heat that you can just go into the pause menu and then all of a sudden, oh hey, I have heat now. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. So to make the argument that it does matter at some points, no it doesn't. There are so many ways to get money in this game. Don't even try to act like getting money is hard. Let alone, and then getting the items is hard because it's very easy. You can get, what, 20 items in this game? Get 20 Stamina X's, get 20 Torrenters. All of a sudden, oh wow, I have heat whenever I need it. Hello, you beautiful people. Yes, we're live comic. This time, it's very simple. I have no items in 85 yen. The goal here is to max out on Stamina Royales. How hard is that? Not very hard. Let's see. So the whole idea is I'm going to do just normal fights. Normal street fights. And we're going to see how long it takes. It shouldn't take that long. So yeah. This is fight number 1 here. And fight 1 done, we have 94, basically 94,000. And now we're in fight 2. Second fight, we got $384,000. Or yen, excuse me. So now we're at 569. I did a third street encounter, so let's, subtract 100,000 yen. So let's say we're at 400, let's say we're at 400,000 yen. From 2 street encounters. Oh hey. It's that easy. It's that easy. Ooh, Stamina! Yes, sir! Now, how much does this Stamina recover? Let's see. Now, here we are. No heat. How much does a Stamina Royale do? It takes 2. It takes 2 Stamina, and then all of a sudden you're back in 30. You pause the game, by the way. The game is paused. You can do this at the beginning of any fight. So, hypothetically, let's just say you're doing the Awano fight like I was. You just pause, and then all of a sudden, boom. Lose your Stamina. Easy. Easy. So yeah, you can't say that there's never a situation where you can't get heat, unless you're doing a challenge. That's it. That's it. So no, there is never a situation where attack speed genuinely matters that isn't, like, the top 1% of times where it does actually matter. And if you want to grasp at straws as an argument, what's wrong with my arguments that don't grasp at straws? Number 3. So you just have to play perfectly. Awesome. No, you don't have to play perfectly. In my clips, I'm not playing perfectly. The only time you can make an argument that I am playing quote-unquote perfectly is during my shakedown fights. And even then, no, I'm not playing perfectly. Why am I not playing perfectly? I'm just playing how I play. I'm not playing to maximize my heat gain. For example, there are points in which I could have taunted easily and got more heat. There are points where I could have forced my rush combo to go a little longer. There are many things I could have done, but I didn't. I played safe. Safely. I wasn't maximizing my heat gain. I was just doing what I do. And as I'm not playing perfectly. In the points where I'm in a group fight, in a street encounter, I'm not playing perfectly. I'm getting hit. What I'm doing is just playing smart. I'm not playing perfectly, just smart. Number 4. The gear system overcomplicates everything. You have to memorize way too much. Now, this argument stems from the fact that you already have a lot of abilities in the Yakuza games, specifically in Yakuza 0, but now you have to memorize conditions, you have to memorize when you can do it, and now you have to memorize the gear system that you have to beat. Now, if this is really the argument you want to make about the gear system, I guess it is an argument to make, and I think it is a better argument, I guess. But then you gotta make this argument for the other games. Yakuza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can't just say Yakuza 0 system is overcomplicated because you have to memorize too much, because the same applies to every other game. Not to mention in the Dragon Ninja games, you have something called Extreme Heat, where now you have to memorize even more, or, extreme... what is it, EX mode or whatever in Judgment, which you also have to memorize a lot more. So to say that the gear system makes you memorize more is asinine, because you have to memorize everything in every game if you want to play efficiently, not just Yakuza 0. Now, from my last argument here that you could make against the gear system is that the gear system is too dynamic. What I mean by this is, let me give you an example. Let's say you're playing as Majima, and an enemy is at a pretty low health, but you want to do specifically the thug counter on that enemy. But that enemy is too passive, and you're heat drones. And you can't hit them, because if you do, you end the fight, and you really want to do the thug counter. And as a result, you have to switch to Breaker to gain more heat, because you can dodge in Breaker and get heat that way. That makes gameplay feel choppy. Now, the reason I say this is a good argument is because you can see a genuine point being made. Yeah, the game does feel more choppy. That being said, do you know who made this argument? A no-damage player. A no-damage player made this argument, and this doesn't invalidate his argument, that I should add. It is a fair argument, and also he has a lot more time in this game than I do on the combat. But besides the point, it's a good argument to make. But that's a no-damage player's concern. So yeah, of course a no-damage player would want to do a thug counter to end their fight off. A normal player doesn't do that. A normal player just wants to get the fight done with. Of course normal players can choose to be stylish, but that's not their main goal. It's just to finish the fight. And on top of that, yes, sure, I guess the game can feel choppy as a result in that given scenario, but this doesn't make the gear system bad. It doesn't make it horribly designed. It doesn't make the gear system magically horrific and ruins Yakuza 0. No, it just makes it slightly less fun to play with. And that's fine. I don't think the gear system is the most fun thing in the world, but I can still agree that it is fairly well designed. But once again, I feel like I have to hammer this point in another time. This was a no-damage player's problem. Who is no-damaging Yakuza 0? Who is no-damaging the Yakuza games? Not many people, except very few talented individuals. So, while this is a fair argument to make, this is an argument that only really applies to such a small demographic of people that it doesn't really stick with the casual player base. Now, the reason I mention casual players is very simple. They have a lot of arguments against the gear system, but none of them really stick. It took someone with the skill level of a no-damage player to find a good argument. Now, I know I said that was the last argument, but there is one more. Heat attacks don't do enough damage. Every single one of those heat actions does 1/3 of a bar of damage. If that's low, I don't know what to tell you. If you think that's not enough damage, then we're just not playing the same game. I'm playing Yakuza 0 and you're playing Yakuza 3. Each of those heat actions have so much utility on top of the damage they do. It's crazy. But, that's really all I can say. Other than that, I hope I have changed your mind about the gear system. You don't have to like it, but At least you don't think it's horrifically bad now, I guess. Or at least for the love of God, watch a guy's video before judging his takes, man. Holy crap. Yeah, other than that, you know, if you guys could comment maybe your thoughts, that mean a lot. This video took a very long time to make, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around for the entire video. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will hopefully see you soon.